What up, guys? Welcome back to Underneath the Veil of Marigolds. And today I am going to show you guys how to make my own personal destruction upon my enemies oil, death oil, black arts oil. It's kind of like a combination of all those. I wanted to give my oil a different name compared to those because I wanted to basically start my own little black arts DUME oil legacy. So I'm going to call it Maleficent Oil because that's literally what it comes down to. Intentions are maleficent. So that's what I'm putting into this oil. This is a type of oil that you would use to banish, hex, curse, something that you really want to create some havoc and destruction and turmoil with. This is the kind of oil that you would use in that sort of spell work. I'm going to show you guys how I make my own personal combination of those oils that I mentioned. And if you guys would like to give this a try, I am doing this on a Saturday, a waning moon, which is good for getting rid of people, getting rid of whoever the fuck I don't want in my life, whoever the fuck is bothering me, putting an end to something. So if you don't have a specific moon phase that you'd like to use, like a dark moon or a full moon would be even better, but a waning moon will do because that's symbolism of removing something, getting rid of something. And I'm doing it on a Saturday, which is in the sign of Capricorn. So if you want to correlate a day of the week because you don't have a full moon or a dark moon, new moon, or whatever to use, you can do that, or you can use a Tuesday, which is in the planet of Mars. That is war, chaos, havoc. There's other aspects to Mars, but if you're trying to do a darker working, then that's the day you do it on. But I'm using Saturday. I am a Capricorn, that's in my sign, so I'm using my own energy for this. And it's a good day to do protection magic, banishing magic, hexing, cursing. This is a good day for that. So that's what I am doing. You don't have to do that. You can literally just wait for a full moon, a dark moon, new moon. Do it then, if that's the kind of energy that you want and you have time to wait to do it. I feel like I might need to use this relatively soon. It's just a feeling. So I'm going to get ready now. I'm going to go ahead and get into the process of making this oil. The materials you're going to need is a jar, some olive oil, purple hydrangeas, the color is specific here, witch's burrs, 3 or whatever numbers you like to work in, black mustard seeds, wormwood, chilies, 9 cat's claws, a black candle, used coffee grinds, a red candle, witch's black salt, fish bones, black magic incense or something that banishes, or you can use a dragon's blood incense. That will work as well. It has polarity. Graveyard dirt, sulfur, and saffron. You'll also need some dead bugs, which I forgot to mention, but you will see me use later on in the video. Alright, so we're going to open up our jar, put the olive oil in it, or you can put the olive oil in last, whatever you may prefer. I'm going to bless my olive oil to enhance all my other ingredients, so that's what you're seeing me do here. Next up is this giant chili pepper that I'm going to snap in half and put all the seeds in there because you want them seeds. And this is going to cause inflammation, pain, discomfort, any sort of irritating effect to the individual. And now I'm going to enchant that chili pepper for everything I just named off, or you can pick just one. Sometimes it's easier to focus on just one of those properties. Next up are the 3 witches' burrs, and I was reading some folklore on these, and it said that if the victim stepped on one of these burrs, that means the witch can control them. So I'm going to use one for domination, and I'm going to use the other for banishing, and the next one to cause havoc in relationships. This is just my own personal preference. I like to add things in like this one by one, and then really focus on how I want the oil to turn out. The destruction, the havoc, the chaos, the nightmares, the anxiety, and the banishing effect. Like all of those things, if you can focus on them one by one, it does slowly amplify and make those energies that much stronger when you're getting this oil together. Next up is wormwood, and wormwood is good for banishing misfortune and strife. Next up are the black mustard seeds, and black mustard seeds are good for chaos, confusion, and to cause strife. Next up are the cat's claws, and cat's claws are good to inflict pain, banish, to hurt, cause turmoil. So if you want to cause irritation to the person, you can add cat's claws, and they're also a good direct link to Basta to help her empower this working. Next up, I'm going to add in purple hydrangea, and I said the color was specific because it is, because purple is linked to your psyche. And I'm going to use this to inflict psychic attacks, nightmares, to make this individual slowly lose their mind, whoever I use this oil on. I'm going to insert a little FYI in here. For those of you who do not know, hydrangeas are poisonous. You cannot eat these. And for some people with sensitive skin, they can cause some irritation. So you cannot really put this oil on your skin if you do need to wash your hands thoroughly. Do not anoint yourself with this. This is for anointing other things. Moving on to the saffron, which is really underrated in hexing and cursing, but this can really fuck up someone's stability. It really can. It can create discord and strife. It's really great to hex and curse with. Next are the dead bugs that I did not show you in the beginning, but I do have like a beetle, 3 spiders, and I believe a dead moth and a couple dead mosquitoes in here. It does not matter what type of bug, you can use any bug. This oil is meant to have a lot of death in it to represent endings. Next up are the used coffee grinds, used specifically. This creates anxiety, panic attacks, and induces nightmares. Again, this is another one of those things where polarity comes into play. I'm going to be using fish bones in this. And fish bones, to me, represent the following: infertility, killing the intuition off, emotionally unstable, stagnant, not moving forward in life. Because when the fish was alive, it meant the opposite things. So you have to think of a lot of the materials, herbs, and spices and stuff that you use as the opposite when you're doing this type of work. Next up is the good old graveyard dirt, which is to end a situation, banish, remove someone from your life, or literally muerte. It's up to you how far you want to go. Sulfur. This stuff is actually highly protective, but we're going to be using it for destroying our enemy. So we're going to be using this sulfur to be stripping them of their power, or you can banish whatever property you would like to use from it. Next is black salt, and you can banish, hex, curse, whatever you need to do with this, and it can also protect you. And I do sell it in my shop on Etsy at Bruja de Marigold Manor if you wish to purchase some or make your own. I do have a video on how to make it on my channel. Next, I added patchouli essential oil, which you can use to weaken someone's immune system. You can also banish, hex, and curse somebody with it. Again, polarity. And that is everything in the jar. You can fill this all the way to the top with some oil, but not completely necessary. I'm going to shake it up really good here to get some aggression out and into the jar, into the oil. Think about the havoc and the chaos and the turmoil and the pain I'm going to be causing the individual. Right now, there's nobody specifically in mind. This is a neutral oil. I am just trying to insert my energy into it and lock it in there for when it needs to be used. I'm just going to add some extra patchouli to the top of my candle. Not really necessary. You don't have to do that part. I did engrave the candle to say destruction, chaos, all the things that you want to happen with this oil that are all shitty fucking shit. Engrave that onto the black candle. And the red candle is my fire elemental candle, so I put the symbol of fire on there. And that's going to help fuel and rage the oil. And now it's time to speak the incantation. Causing darkness and strife, I unleash maleficent energies upon your life, as above, so below. Speak this for however many times you feel you need to speak it. Channel your energy and rage into the oil. Stay there for as long as you need to. You could be there until the candle burns out. Get as much energy and ill intent in there as you need to get into the oil. Once done channeling as much energy as you can let this sit on your altar for a day if you wish, but make sure your candles are burned all the way out before you start to use this oil. So that's roughly what your working is going to look like. This is an oil, like I said, that's a cross version between DUME, black arts, death oil, any sort of like hexing or cursing oil, banishing oil too. Like this is everything conjoined into one. I decided to call it Maleficent Oil because that's what it is to me. That's the intention for it, is going to be maleficent. If you actually look up the definition of it and think of what you want this oil to do to somebody, it kind of goes hand in hand. I'm going to start a new thing, and if you guys want to make this oil and add your own tweaks to it, if you make this oil, tag me in it because I want to see what you did, or if you don't have a channel, then place it in the comments below and let me know what you did differently. I'm always looking for different ways to do something. Some of you guys may ask me some questions about this if it has to do with the aspect of how do I protect myself when I do this type of magic, or that you're kind of fearful of doing it. I'm going to tell you now, don't do it. You are not ready for this type of magic if you're still in that mindset of operating out of fear and you're still going by the threefold law. I don't go by that law. I am just simply an eclectic bruja. I do whatever I want when I want. I am my boss, nobody else. You shouldn't fear negative energies coming back to you if what you're doing is actually justified. If you're being stupid and petty to somebody who said something rude to you, and then you're gonna go out and do a full-blown curse or hex to them and you don't know who the fuck they are even, and then you're just gonna go out and destroy their whole life like that, that's ridiculous. That's insane. This is not for stupid petty little things that happen throughout your day like that. Hexes and curses should really only happen if someone literally destroyed your life, or they given you traumatic experiences that now have bled into your adulthood and you want to get them back. Things like that. So I could go in depth with that, but I don't want this video to be longer than what it already is. But as you saw, there's dead things in there. The hydrangeas are actually poisonous. They have a high cyanide dosage in there. So as the oil sits longer, you don't want to get any of this on your skin. If you're using this in a working, which this is what this oil is for. This is an anointing oil. This is not something that's like a hex jar, a sour jar, or not a jar spell like that. This is an oil that you're constantly going to use in different spells to anoint objects or put on something that is not you in order to curse, hex, banish, put an end to, basically. This is not a one and done sort of spell. This is something you're going to use until the oil inside of it is gone, and you can keep adding things to it if you wish. This is not something that once you close it up, you seal it, you can't add anything to it anymore. That's not how making an oil works. I've been getting a lot of questions for return to sender oil and the hex jar or sour jar hex. And a lot of you guys seem like you don't really know what to do with that stuff, or you're very scared to perform that magic in the first place. If you're going to perform workings like this, you can do a protection spell first. You can wear protective jewelry like this, to protect yourself. And most of all, every practitioner, before they start doing any type of magic that's like this, baneful, they should already have a good grasp on generating their own energy field to protect themselves. And that's really all it takes. If you keep operating out of fear that something bad's going to happen to you, then something is. And you're the one who's doing it. You're the one who's creating your own demise. If you're scared, don't do it. You're not ready yet. So you have some rewiring of the mind to to do and conquer before you can move on to this type of work. So don't use this on your skin is what I was trying to get at before I went into my rant. Don't use this on your skin. If you're gonna use this oil, wear gloves. And if you do get some on your skin, wash your skin, like soon, immediately. Don't touch your face, don't touch your eyes. This is a type of oil that's gonna be very rancid, and it's going to smell more putrid as it ages, which is what you want. The stronger it is, the better. When you use this type of oil, you probably want to be in a ventilated airflow sort of area, or better yet, just outside. Hopefully that kind of clears some things up. And if you guys make the oil, like I said, tag me, let me know, because I would love to see what you did differently. All right, until next time, I will see all you lovely little brujitas later.